everyone, welcome to this video. I have some library books. I've just been to the library, you will have seen. I had a little shop and I'm just going to read library books for a whole week. This is going to be a very quick intro. Feel free to skip this. I've put some timestamps if you just want to watch me reading the books, but I'm going to show you the books first and then tell you a little bit about why I'm doing this video and why I'm going to the library and things like that and how I sort of signed up, that kind of thing. So first off, let's show you what I got. Now I got a range. I got some horror, I got some science fiction, I got some fantasy, I got some fiction and sort of romancy. Start with the paperbacks. So first off, I picked up Rivals. This has recently been made into a series on Disney Plus, and I watched this on my recent holiday to Mallorca. I watched it on the plane there and the plane back, the whole thing, and I was obsessed. I loved it. It was so good. It's basically set in the 80s. It's set in Rutshire, which is like a fictional county, but would be set in the Cotswolds in the UK, which is basically a countryside area. I love the Cotswolds. So it's set there in the 80s, and essentially all of these rich people, public figures, whatever, working in TV and various other things. And it's kind of, they're all kind of having affairs with each other, and they're all kind of living their lives and having feuds and rivalries. So yeah, this is actually the second book in her series. She's done loads of books, Julie Cooper, set in this world. This is the book that the show's based off of though, so I thought I want to read this book first because I kind of already know the story, and then if I love it, I can read the others. She is so, like, this Julie Cooper is a dame now because of how many books she's written and how popular they are. I don't know when she wrote this, if she wrote this in the 80s or not. I think it probably was more 90s, 2000s. It feels like a very old kind of style. But anyway, so yeah, and from what I read on the blurb, it looks pretty much exactly the same, like the same characters as in the show. So I love the show so much. I want to read the book. I want to find out if there's anything different in the book, if the characters are the same, if there's anything extra. There's lots of romances going on while there's also this rivalry trying to work in TV, and lots of like politics of the time sort of thing. Yeah, I'll read you the blurb, but I'm very excited to read this. It's very big. I mean, it's, yeah, 700 pages. So I'm hoping it's good. But if not, I'm not really bothered because I love the show anyway, but I'm hoping that the book is amazing. And then I picked up a horror. I have never seen this before, and this isn't on my TBR or anything, but it just looks fun. And it's short. So this is Guillotine by Delilah S. Dawson. I'll read you the blurb. I picked it up because one, it is 204 pages, and I thought I want a quick, I like the cover as well, I want a quick read. I do like a horror, but I'm never normally scared by a horror, so every time I read a horror I'm like, right, is this going to be one that I'm scared by? I mean, this is 200 pages, so maybe not, but it just sounds very me. Thrift fashionista Des doesn't want to date Patrick. She just wants to meet his mother, the editor-in-chief of Novo magazine. When he invites her to his family's big Easter reunion at their ancestral home, she's certain she can put up with his arrogance and fend off his advances long enough to ask Marie for an internship someone with her pedigree could never nab through the regular submission route. When they arrive at the enormous island mansion, Des is floored. She's never witnessed how the 1% live before and all their ridiculous unnecessary luxury. But once all the family members are on the island and the ferry has departed, things take a dark turn. So it's a dark tale of opulent luxury and shocking violence. I feel like it's almost a horror story of this. Like, I picked quite similar books there. It just sounds interesting. It sounds, I just like the setup. So yeah, and it's fairly short, so I could probably read this in one sitting. So I'm excited, and it's really pretty. I also picked up Lady McBeth by Ava Reid. Now, I love a complex female character, and Lady McBeth is one of my favourite characters ever. Not because if someone's my favourite character doesn't mean I think they're a good person or I would want to meet them. No, but she is one of my favourite characters, sort of, not saying I would want to know her. Anyway, this is basically a reimagining of Lady Macbeth, and it gives her more of a voice and a past, because the problem is with Lady Macbeth is we know nothing about her other than a few of her lines in the story, and we know nothing about her past. We don't even know her name. She's just Lady Macbeth. Like, we don't know anything about her, so anything that gives her some backstory, I will definitely read out of curiosity. So, the lady knows for stories that her eyes induce madness in men. The lady knows she will be wed to the Scottish brute, who does not leave his warrior ways behind when he comes to the marriage bed. The lady knows his hostile, suspicious court will be a game of survival, requiring all of her wiles and hidden witchcraft to survive. But the lady does not know her husband has occult secrets of his own. She does not know that prophecy girds him like armour. She does not know that her magic is greater and more dangerous and that it will threaten the order of the world. She does not know this yet, but she will. So this is kind of like a fantastical take on it as well. This is under 300 pages, so this is also pretty short. I've been wanting to read this for ages, and I saw it was in stock in the library and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. So very excited for this one. I have 2 hardcovers which are massive. I don't know if I'm gonna get through these. I feel like I'm gonna read those ones first and then try these. First off, I have All the Colours of the Dark. Now this is kind of random for me. This is massive, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily my thing. This is what my book club have picked for the month, and I saw it was in the library, so I was like, great. I will just read you the blurb and we'll go from there. Late one summer, the town of Montclair is shattered by the abduction of teenage Joseph. Nobody more so than St. Brown, who will risk everything to find her best friend. But when she does, it will break her heart. Patch lies alone in a pitch black room until he feels a hand in his. Her name is Grace, and though they cannot see each other, she lights their world with her words. But when he escapes, there is no sign she ever even existed. Left with only her voice and her name, he paints her from broken memories and charts an epic search to find her. As years turn to decades and hope becomes obsession, Saint will shadow his journey, on a darker path to hunt down the man who took them and set free the only boy she ever loved, even if finding the truth means losing each other forever. Now, the main thing with this is basically what the guy at the book club kind of sold it to us on was that it's sort of a crime has happened and the town is kind of torn apart by it, essentially. And I think that's always a good setup for a book. This is set in, I believe, like deep South America. I can't remember when it's set. I think it's set in the 70s. But also this author, I think he actually is British, but basically he's got lots of reviews of people saying that they are from deep South America or they lived in deep South America. And he's written this really accurately to how that town would have reacted to this happening. You know what I mean? Like it's very apt. So yeah, it's not my usual thing, but it was picked for book club. I'm gonna try it. Normally when a book is that long, I have to love it. So I'm not sure because it's not my usual genre. We will find out. But we're gonna give it a go. The last book I picked up was Threadneedle, which is a fantasy book that I've seen the second book has come out recently. And I really wanted to buy that one because it was really pretty. It's called Shadow Stitch. But I was like, I obviously have to read the first one first. So this one looks so cool. I will tell you the blurb. Anna's aunt has always warned her of the dangers of magic. Now Anna counts down the days to the ceremony that will bind her magic forever. Until she meets Effie and Attis, they open her eyes to a London she never knew existed, a shop that sells memories, a secret library where the librarian feeds off words, a club where revelers lose themselves in a haze of spells. But as she is swept deeper into this world, Anna begins to wonder if her aunt was right all along. Is her magic a gift or a curse? So we kind of have an urban fantasy there, but I like that because it's set in London and I can kind of picture it. I'm very specific with my urban fantasies. I've said this a lot before, like I either love them or hate them. So I really like the premise of that. And yeah, I'm excited. So those are the 5 books that I picked up. I could have picked up more. There was When the Moon Hatched, which I have read on Kindle, but I couldn't get into. I do want to pick it up and try and read it physically. There was Her Majesty's Coven. Like there was loads of books that I really are on my TBR that were in there, which I was really shocked about because I'm going to talk a bit now about the library itself. And yeah, as I said, skip ahead to reading if you want. But I always kind of thought they wouldn't have much romantasy and fantasy in the library because the library to me feels a lot more non-fiction, and there was a lot of non-fiction. But actually there was loads of books that are on my TBR that were in there, and loads of books in fiction and other areas that I really liked. I mean, they even had the Shadow and Bone series in the YA section. And I was like, yeah, I'll happily reread that for free. Like, it's so worth doing. So anyway, so I'm doing this video because I've been here for ages and I've not joined the library. In fact, I've not been to the library since I was a kid and I went to the library. So I was like, right, let's rejoin, start again, and yeah, discover what's there. So there was so many options. I only picked up 5. You can take out 20 books a month, but yeah, I thought no, it's okay, I'll just take out 5. I think that's enough for this video and for a couple weeks. So yeah, I've got a whole month to read these. I want to read books if they're available for free, or they're available and I don't have to buy them. Why not get it? Not just because I'm saving money, but also because it helps with wastage. Because a lot of times I'll buy a physical book, I won't like it that much, or I'll think I like it, but I'm not going to read it again. And then I end up just selling it on Vinted anyway, and it's all a bit of a waste of money and time and resource. So every book that I want to read now, I'm going to check, can I get it in a library? Can I get it on Audible for free or for cheap? Can I get it on Kindle for under a £5? And if any of those are true, I'll get it on those platforms. The library also has loads of ebooks that you can download on an app, so I'm also going to check that and see what's on there, because I feel like I've been pleasantly surprised with these. So yeah, that's kind of why I decided to do this. I would say if you're going to take anything that's from this video, please let me know if you're going to sign up to your local library. I'm not sponsored or anything to say this. This is just something that, I don't know, I suddenly got excitement to do. I mean, I love a book haul. I love picking up a load of books. And to be honest, picking up library books is kind of the same feeling. It's just that I don't own them. They're not like mine, and they're not as pretty because they've got these covers on them. But like, it's kind of a similar feeling. So yeah, it just feels all a bit more ethical. I'm supporting the community. It just feels fun. So anyway, we're going to start reading these. What should I read first? I think I'm going to read Guillotine because it's literally 200 pages and I'm in the mood tonight to just read non-stop. So I think I'm going to read this tonight. And then I'm probably going to get into Rivals and yeah, see how I go, and then maybe read Lady McBeth. Basically get those 3 shorter ones out of the way and then read the big hardcovers. But yeah, I'm excited. Let's go. Hey guys, look how bad my spots are today. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I finished this book, Guillotine, by Delia Dawson. It was only 200 pages. I read it, I didn't read it last night, this is now the next morning, and I read it this morning in one sitting, like just sat here before work. Where do I start? I kind of loved it, but I can totally see if you don't love it, and I think it's very niche and specific and a bit stupid is kind of the best way to put it. I mean, look, it is only 200 pages, so you're not going to get like a really deep, developed horror. And was it scary? I don't know, but it was gory. It was very gory. Essentially, so yeah, I said about the plot at the beginning, but there actually wasn't a lot of this whole... I was expecting there to be lots of dinners with the mother-in-law and like the girl trying to get into her company and get into the magazine. Not at all. Didn't really talk about that at all, to be honest. It was more that the girl arrived with this boy to this very weird, mysterious island, and one night, quite quickly in, a load of stuff kicks off, and I obviously can't spoil it, but yeah, massive thing happens. There's also a couple massive like reveals, but obviously you don't care loads because you don't know the characters that well, but they were still good. And then it all kind of kicks off from there, and the action kind of starts from about page 80, to be honest. I mean, she gets to the island very quickly, which obviously it's a short book, so you'd hope so, but it's very fast paced. And then it just kind of doesn't stop, and it's just constant gore and murder, and yeah. I feel like there's probably some deep lessons here, or moral tales to take away, in the sense that it's a lot about, you know, these I don't know how to not spoil it. Basically, it's about how the people that get killed, the author says at the beginning, she's like, they deserve it, and you kind of find out why they deserve it. And essentially, I think there's probably a deeper meaning that she's put in this about power and the abuse of power and cruelty from people in positions of power or positions of wealth or whatever. So yeah, I really enjoyed it because it was fast paced. It was fun in the sense that it was fast paced and full of action. I was always thinking, oh gosh, what's going to happen next? Oh, that was crazy. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Like everything was a bit like, oh, every chapter kind of ended like, oh.
and the writing was really good. I would definitely read more by Delilah S. Dawson. It wasn't bad at all. I really liked the female main character, even though, you know, it's a 200-page book and it's in third person. Like, I really liked her. And yeah, it was, so overall it was all a bit weird and crazy and a bit stupid. Like, it was a bit extreme. But if you just want it was almost laughable, but in a good way. Like, if you want a horror that isn't like proper scary, but it's more, yeah, it's got kind of moral tale to it. I can't remember what, like a fable almost. And you want a quick read that is of a weird place and you don't really know what's happening, but it's all very odd, then yeah, you will like this. If you want something really deep and well thought out and it isn't just a fun, quick read, you won't like this. You might find it a bit stupid and a bit odd because it was pretty crazy and extreme and gory. Also, if you don't like graphic descriptions of like murder and stuff, you will not like this. And that's why I'm saying it got a bit extreme and a bit gory and a bit stupid, because it was like, there was a lot of it. But yeah, I really like this. So I've actually rated this 4.5 stars because there's nothing that I would really change other than it being a longer book and having more of a backstory and learning more about why all this happened and blah, blah, blah. It was just very quick. But like, that's obviously not what it's designed to do. It's supposed to be a fun, quick, weird read, make you go a bit like, what? Weird, which is what I've now done, and which is why I now can't speak. But I just have this 4.5 star feeling.
Hi guys, I have a not very nice chai latte. I wanted to get chai latte because I haven't had chai latte in ages. I'm allergic to caffeine, it's a long story. I can only really have chai or matcha, but matcha I had recently and it gave me the same effects that coffee has always given me, so I'm staying away from that for a little while. However, chai has always done me right, it has always treated me well. So anyway, I went to my cafe that I love down the road. They always do a great chai, but they'd run out, so bless her, she tried to help by giving me this like other tea bag chai. Like, look, it kind of needs to be like a tea bag, and so there's loads of like, I'm basically just drinking hot milk and a weird herbally tea taste with it, but it's fine. But I do want my chai fix, so I'm now going to sit here. I've got a little bench, I've got my bag and my book in my tote bag, Lady McBeth. I'm going to sit and read for a little bit. It's quite warm, but it's not very sunny, but I kind of don't mind. I just thought, right, let's get out of the house. It's lunchtime. I've got a little pastry for lunch as well, which I'll have when I get back. But yeah, let's just sit here for a little bit and chill by all the flowers. I started Lady McBeth yesterday. I'm liking it so far. It's definitely giving her more of a backstory. I mean, first of all, we actually know her name, so that's something. So yeah, I'm liking it so far. I'm interested to see whether or not we're going to like her more, or if she's going to become more villainous, because obviously she's a villain in McBeth. Is she going to be more likeable? We're going to feel sorry for her. I'm excited. But anyway, I'm going to sit and read that for a little bit. I'm liking the writing style so far, and I think even if I don't become obsessed with this story, I will read more by Ava Reid because I really like her writing. Yeah, anyway, so chai and reading. Okay, I have my new chai, which, oh my god, tastes so good. I needed it. I missed a proper chai. I'm back home. I had a really nice time just sat in the park reading for a little bit, but it got a little bit chilly and I'm hungry. So I'm now gonna have my lunch and go on my phone for a bit, just brain rot. And then I will get back to reading Lady McBeth. I'm over halfway through now and I'm really, really liking it. It's definitely different. It does kind of retell the whole McBeth story in a different way. Like, it doesn't just tell the same story, but give her backstory and give her, so it does kind of rewrite the whole, well, not the whole plot, but a lot of it. But I don't mind that. That's fine. I'm happy with that. I'm not married to exactly, it has to exactly be how Shakespeare wrote the original Macbeth. No, like, it makes sense, the changes she's made as well. It makes it more fun and makes it more scandalous and interesting. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. But like I said, yeah, I need to chill. Also, I did buy a new concealer because this does not match this. So just letting you know, I'm aware, don't worry. Hopefully in the next clips it will be even, because tomorrow I'll use my proper concealer. Anyway, I also bought loads of clothes and stuff. because I'm celebrating something and I thought, yeah, let's treat myself, and I needed some new stuff, like some new work clothes and things. So I did that, so I need to try them on at some point, but for now, we are eating, reading, phoning. Finished Lady Macbeth, and I just did a whole video clip of me going, I really enjoyed it, I really liked it, I don't know why. And then I've sat back and I thought, I don't know, I did like it. It was a 4-star read. I like the writing style, I like Ava Reid's writing, and I will be reading more by Ava Reid. However, I kind of realised, like, where was my powerful gaskeep gatelight girl boss, that one, Queen Lady Macbeth? Because I sort of finished the book and I thought, oh, she's a very different character in this book, and the plot is kind of completely different. Like, it's kind of like an alternative universe version of the Macbeth storyline, which I don't mind. I actually don't mind that bit, but the whole point of Lady Macbeth is that she is a very strong character, a very layered character, and she definitely was layered in this one, but she was just a lot weaker. And I don't know if that was done to show that actually the whole being strong thing within the Macbeth story is a facade, and actually she is this weak, troubled woman. I don't know. But yeah, and I was also expecting it to be a bit more sympathetic to her. It was in some ways, but in other ways she was like quite xenophobic and like just not great, like not a good person, which obviously, like, she's not in Macbeth, but I was sort of expecting it to go either way. I think she was trying to make us feel sympathy for her, but it didn't really work. Like, she was just some of her views were very odd. So yeah, I look, the book itself was 4 stars because I had a good time reading it. However, to me, the depiction of Lady Macbeth was very interesting. It was very different to what I was expecting and to what she is portrayed as in the original play. So I'm glad I read it. I will be reading more by Ava Reid, like I said, but I think I'm just a bit like, I don't really know how to feel, because I enjoyed the book itself, but I'm upset with what happened to the character that I love so much. I do think it was fun to give her a backstory and to give her a whole other story, really. And I liked the romance within it a lot. But yeah, I feel a bit weird. Like, this is one of those books, and I say this a lot, but particularly with some books, it's particularly strong, where I don't really know how I feel right now. I'm going to have to wait until I do my end of month wrap up, and then I'll kind of know, because it's one of those books I feel like I need to sit with and think about it. And when I then look back at it in like a week's time, I can be like, oh, actually, I enjoyed that more than I thought. It actually wasn't a problem. Or I can think, oh, actually didn't hit. So it's still a 4 stars in the sense of the storyline was I liked, and even though the plot was completely different, it was fine. And the writing was really good, and I will be reading more by Ava Reid, but I just think in terms of characters, it just feels like such a shame, really, but whatever. Guys, I'm on page 164. I'm on chapter 70. So this book has very, very short chapters, like literally a page, 2-3 pages maximum. And I'm loving that. That's really helping me read. I love a short chapter. I can't be dealing with long chapters. And it's not even that I read short and often. I read a lot in one go, but it still just makes things more digestible for some reason when I'm reading it. It's going a lot quicker than I expected. I have a lot of thoughts. I am loving this. It's not a happy book by any means, don't get me wrong, but as in I'm enjoying reading it. I don't want to put it down. I don't want to not find out what's happening. I want to keep finding out more. There are some amazing quotes in this that are particularly getting me. Also, sorry about my weird dining table. I don't use this table much, but I was like, I just need to... When I've got a hardcover, it feels easier to sit and read like this. God started the fire, and now he wants the credit for putting it out. I'll burn everything in my path till I find her. I won't hesitate. I won't even look back at the ashes. Like, it's so well written. There is so many lines and quotes in here that are really hard hitting. You know, this is set in 1970s Southern America, as in, I keep saying Southern America, not South America, the continent, as in North America, Southern. So it's got a lot of really interesting themes, and I don't even know where to begin explaining it. I'm really loving how digestible it is, but also hard hitting, written beautifully. It's so well written. I am engaged in the story. The pace is incredible. The characters are great. Like, the characters feel quite well developed already, and like I already know them really well. I mean, I'm on page 164 and I've just been reading non-stop. Like, I think I'm gonna get halfway through this book before I even get up to go and do something. I only literally am filming this as quickly as I can because I want to just get my eyes back down on this page. Like, that's when I know that a book is good. I am predicting this to be a 5-star read. I really am. And I think the fact that it's long doesn't scare me, because I think this needs to be this long. A lot has happened already, which is great within 164 pages, but I can still see how it might continue. How can I explain the plot without spoiling it? We have a crime that has happened. I'm not going to give any spoilers as to how the crime is played out, but essentially we have the POV of seeing what happened with the actual victims of the crime, people that were going to be victims, and people that are friends of those people, and that kind of thing. And there's probably about 3 or 4 main characters that we're kind of following that mainly within it, and they're all kind of connected. And we see the families of these people, and yeah, essentially there is a kidnapper or a murderer on the loose, and we're finding out what's happening. I can't really tell you much more than that. What I will say is, I don't really know what's going to happen. I think there is a gorgeous love story throughout this. It's what it's been marketed as. I can't tell which that's going to be, because there seems to be many girls interested in this one boy, and I don't know which line we're going to go down for that. I think that I know who the boy and the girl's romance is with, but it's interesting to see the sort of other options that it could go down. I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, like I said, it's dark because we've sort of had the crime happen, and we're now going through like the aftermath, how people are coping, things like that. I'm presuming that more is going to happen, like as in more crimes are going to be committed. I don't know. I know it's called All the Colours of the Dark because I think the male main character gets into painting and starts painting things, but I don't know what he paints. So I'm presuming that's going to be a thing. Look, I mean, I'm not a fiction-y or even a crimey girly. This, I say not, as in I do read that, but it's not my favourite genre, so it has to be something I'm really interested in for me to like it. And this is written so well that I'm loving it. Like, this is really hitting the spot. I don't want to not read this. I mean, this clip is like, what, 4 or 5 minutes long, and yet it's too long. I need to get my eyes back down. I need to put the oven on in a minute and start making dinner, and yet I don't want to put it down. I'm going to read while I eat, and that doesn't happen often. Normally when I eat, I have to be watching something. I have to be like, no, like I can't read, partly because it's hard to hold a book, whether this is fine, it's open. But like, I need to read, and I can't put this down. Good morning. I've just got ready for the day. I'm about to go and have a fun little eye test, hopefully pick out some new glasses, because these ones I have, just not a fan anymore. I finished All the Colours of the Dark last night, so I read that whole book in one evening and I could not put it down. I have so much to say about it. This book was at least a 5 stars for me. It was amazing, and I can totally see a lot of 5 stars. I think, well, if you don't like it, it's weird, like Sunrise on the Reaping. I feel like that's a you problem, not the book problem. This, however, I can understand. So, what are some bad bits? The bad bits, because there's not many, let's get them out of the way, is that it was very long. Probably could have taken 200 pages off, at least 100 pages off. The middle was a lot slower than the beginning and the end. That's kind of, and also you could argue that it's not very realistic. It's a very crazy story. and the dialogue between the kids was funny. I couldn't really work out how old the kids were at the beginning. Like, in my head they were like 7, and then they were talking about prom, and I was like, oh, these are like pre-teens, okay. And there's lots of time jumps and things like that, which make it kind of hard to picture characters and picture ages, especially of the young ones. Those are the only possible bad things I can point out, but it's still a 5 stars for me because it gave me a 5 stars feeling. The good things, I loved the really short, quick chapters. A lot of people don't like that, but I did love it. It made it really digestible, it made it feel quick and fast-paced, and the chapters worked being that short. I wasn't thinking, oh, this needs to be a longer chapter at any point. Not really. It all made sense. I really liked all the characters. There was things to like and dislike about all of them. There's a big range of characters of different ages and interests and blah blah blah, which was just great. It made me cry, which books don't often do, but there was a storyline within it that just really kind of, to be honest, kind of triggered me and made me cry, but it was fine. It was a good cry in the sense that it was really beautifully written, and that's why I cried. Like, it was really sad, but it was done in such a emotional way that really got me. So like, it's good that a book had that effect on me, because that shows it was really good writing. It's also bad because I don't like crying at books, because who likes that? Well, some people do actually, but not me. Overall, the plot was really good. I think there were some twists and turns, and it did take a while in the middle to kind of get to the end, but I enjoyed the kind of fluff around it and the bits that, I don't know, didn't move the plot along too much. I still really enjoyed them. The reason I say I can see why you wouldn't love this book is because of, one, the short chapters, and the fact that it did get slightly slower in the middle, and yeah, if you're not emotionally invested in it, you're not going to care. So I totally understand if you don't like it. This is not my normal thing or normal type of book. This is marketed as like a thriller mystery. I wouldn't really say it's a thriller, because there wasn't anything too, like crazy action or like I said, it did lull a bit in the middle. I'd say it's more of a mystery and a sort of hometown, small town story. There was also a romance within it. There's kind of romances with different people, but the main romance with the character I was suspecting was particularly lovely and gorgeous. I really liked the female main character. The male main character I had very mixed opinions on, to be honest, but I felt for him. And yeah, it was just so good, and I wasn't expecting to like it so much. It's like I said, it's not the normal type of book I go for. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about that book because I need a break. I literally went to sleep straight away, woke up, got ready, and now I'm like, whoa, wait, what? I read that yesterday and my head hurts. I mean, it was a very emotional journey, I found, as well, so I feel a bit wired. We are, however, now going to go into Rivals, which is well, I don't know how deep it is, but I think it's quite a surface level romance drama thing. I mean, you know, I've told you this before, it's set in the 80s. It's basically all about affairs and these rivaling TV companies in the 80s. I've obviously seen it, the series, which is based on this one book. I believe each book in the series is based off a different, like, revolves around a different man in the Rutshire and like his life and his rival. It just depends on her writing. I have seen some people say that they watched the show and then read the book and didn't love it as much, but we'll see.
Hey guys, I've had a nap and I've been reading and chilling. I just read a sentence that has made me want to DNF. I've just read a sentence. I don't know if I can continue after reading that. I mean, I just kind of laughed, but it's not funny. It's gross. And I really don't want to continue reading. Like, I feel so disgusted that she's put that in this book, that she's made someone say that. And it's not like, you know, when like sometimes characters are really horrible and they'll say horrible things and it's to prove that they're an awful person, right? Okay, yeah, I kind of get that, but I feel like there's lines, do you know what I mean? And I don't think that that line served any purpose in terms of character building or plot building or whatever. Like, it was just gross. So, I don't know how I feel. I mean, up until then, let's talk about it. So the characters are pretty similar to how they were in the show, which is what I like. What I will say is with certain characters, for example, Rupert is just a lot more full of himself in the book. Declan was my favourite character in the show. He was probably who I thought was the best person, or him and Agatha. I'd say he's worse of a man. He's not quite as nice or good as a man in the book. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, but am I enjoying it because I know what's happening? Yeah, I think if I didn't know what was happening, I'd be bored by now, because not a lot has happened other than affairs, talking, gossiping, TV interviews. That's kind of it. And I do think that portrays better on the screen, and that's why I like the show. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I like the writing. I can see why people like this series and why it's popular. It's definitely very juicy. I just think that one line has made me just go, I don't even want to touch this book anymore. And I'm getting a bit bored. I'm kind of waiting for the big events to happen, and it's only because I know what those big events are that I'm waiting for them. Whether I think by now I would have DNF'd if I didn't know what they were. I'm on page, I don't even want to touch it. I'm on page 300, so I'm halfway through. Yeah, I think I might have to DNF after that line. I don't think I can continue reading, and I don't really want to be honest. It does seem pretty similar to the show, so I imagine it all plays out the same as the show. And hey, the second season has just started filming, so maybe when that comes out in like a year's time or whatever, I can try this again and revisit it. But that one line has just completely, yeah, no. And also it's a character that in the show was really likable and I really liked it in it, and he's still a likable character in this. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questionable things said in this. The characters aren't good people. They say horrible things. They have horrible beliefs. It is also the 80s, so a lot of this is outdated, but that line was particularly just, no, I feel a bit unwell. Books don't normally have that effect on me, but I actually feel a bit sick. So let's stop reading that. Also, I went to go take my books back to the library earlier, but I forgot that it was closed. I say forgot, I didn't know that it was closed. Because of bank holidays and stuff, it was all a bit of a mess, so never mind. So I'll have to return it in the week. But I finished that one. Let's just start Threadneedle, the last book that I picked up. I do feel like I want a fantasy now, or a fantasy romance, something like that. Like, I feel like I've had some quite a couple deep books, a horror, and then this one, which I don't know, like, it's just not made me happy. So I feel like I need a world to escape into. So yeah, let's pick up Threadneedle instead. But it is a shame that I'm DNFing it. I might pick it up at some point again. But that line is just really and there was a lot of lines like it, but that one in particular, just like, just. It is Tuesday evening. Threadneedle. So I am on page 149 out of like 550, so I'm not that far in. But I'm far enough in for things to start happening. So yeah, this girl has now gone to this sort of school, and she's being a bit bullied by some of the girls, but she's also made friends with some of the other girls. That's essentially what's happened so far. At least that's what I remember since last picking it up. There's magic in these knots that you can tie with ropes and thread and things like that, and that's how you use your magic. Those are broad concepts. It's set in London. There's also been some witches that have been hanged, or like they've hung themselves. I'm not too sure. We don't really know yet. On Big Ben, and they're all marked by this like coven, and they're kind of trying to work out what happened to them, why did they do that, etc, etc as well. So that's in the background. I'm again playing the game of am I bored by this book, do I not like this book, or am I just busy? And I think I've come to the realization that actually, no matter how busy I am, if it's really like a 5-star book, I will make time to read it. You know, I will be excited to pick it up again. I have not thought about this book since I last put it down, probably over a day ago.
And yes, I've been busy with work, but it's just not come into my head. I've not been thinking about it. I don't care about it. However, I am only 150 pages in. I do still think that's enough to know if I'm gonna like it, but it might get better. This is fairly long, so there must be more that happens. I'm glad I picked it up from the library still, and this is why I'm so glad I'm going to the library more now. Because can you imagine if I bought this hardback and didn't like it? I don't think I dislike it, I'm just not that invested. So anyway, that's where we're at. So I'm going to keep reading for the rest of the week and then this vlog will end. I do think it will be a while. I am busy in a couple nights because I've got a friend coming over. I'm busy at the weekend, so I'm hoping that I can maybe read a bit more tonight and tomorrow, and that can be most of my reading. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a DNF, but I'm not sure. I do kind of like the school academic atmosphere. It feels very dark academia and slightly divergent-y, which I love. You know, I loved that when I was younger. So yeah, I'm liking it so far. Guys, I do my whole makeup and then I always get the sneezes and my nose itches. So then I wipe my nose or blow my nose and then it all comes off around my nose. So fun. Anyway, I'm about to start work. I just wanted to give an update on my reading. I have read nothing since that last clip. Nothing at all. Now I have been busy and my friend came over. I did go out one night. Like, I've had busy evenings, but this is what I'm saying. Like, if a book is a 5-star and I'm obsessed with it, I will find the time and I will stay up reading it, but I've just not been interested. So the plan is tonight I'm going to exercise and I'm like doing some chores and things like that, but really other than that I'm not doing anything. So this is the perfect time to read. So we're going to see how much we can read tonight. I'd quite like to finish it tonight because this weekend I'm quite busy and I'd like to return all the books this weekend and finish this video. So I will see, but I obviously don't want to rush it because, yeah, especially because I'm not that invested in it. I want to take my time. But yeah, I think that shows that it's not stood out as much as the other ones. The other books had shorter chapters as well, which also helped me be more inclined to read it more often and like make myself read it more, whether I know that when I read this I kind of have to sit down and digest it a lot. Like, I have to read a lot in one go. I can't just read one paragraph and then pick it up later on because I'll forget stuff. But also that kind of is just like that in fantasy anyway. But yeah, I'm about to start work, see how the workday goes. I've had a very busy week, to be fair. It's the end of the month and like this happens, you know, a lot of stuff gets thrown at you. Which is fine. So yeah, we're gonna read later. After work I'm gonna pop downstairs on the treadmill. My lunch break I'm gonna go to town because I need to run some errands. So we might have a couple hours of reading, not sure. I'm going to the zoo tomorrow, exciting, so not sure how much reading I'll do tomorrow either. Anyway, we'll see. But that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm just kind of not bothered. I'm not hating it because then I would just DNF it. I still want to read it, like I want to know what's happening. I want to keep picking it up, but I'm just not picking it up because I'm not that invested, if that makes sense. But it's not a DNF so far. Hello everyone. I apologise for the weird makeup. I have sniffed off all of my makeup. My hay fever is so bad right now. Anyway, I'm going to end this video because we've finished. I finished Threadneedle this morning. Unfortunately, I don't have too much to say. The ending was good. It was really good actually, the ending. It got a lot better. Am I gagging to read the next books? Not really. Not really. Again, if I was given them, sure, but there's lots of other books in the library that I want to pick up. And I think, you know, if there's a book that even in the library, I don't want to reserve it because there's other ones I want to read, I think that kind of shows that I'm not that interested in the series. But it's a shame. I don't think there was anything specifically wrong or bad. You know, sometimes I read a book and like the way it's written or the topics that are talked about aren't for me or are badly done, and that feels a bit objective, but this just doesn't. I just couldn't get into it. I think it was a mix of the fact that it's an urban fantasy, which I do struggle with. I always like to try, but naturally, let's be real, I do just struggle with anyway. And yeah, and just the fact that it felt a bit slow and isn't my usual thing. And the romance wasn't amazing. So I think, you know, if the romance isn't that strong, fine, but then the fantasy needs to be particularly well built out and strong. Then, you know, like you need to have one of them at least be really strong, and it kind of felt like neither were amazing. But hey, that's just me. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Overall though, I'd say this was a great trip to the library. The 5 books that I picked, you know, I finished all of them. I didn't really DNF. I mean, Rivals, yes, I did DNF, but like kind of kind of not, literally just because of that one line. I would have finished it if it wasn't for that. So yeah, it's really fun. I actually am really excited to go back in a couple of days time and return all of those books and then pick up more. I've actually reserved some more books in the meantime. I do think that I want a good mix. Like, I want a mix of reserving books and knowing certain books that I want to read this month I can reserve, but then also just going and exploring. But it's quite nice if I don't have time to go shopping, library shopping as it were. Instead I can just pick some books up. And I think I'm going to do a haul soon of the next load of library books that I pick up. I think I'm going to pick up quite a few for the month, because, you know, I read these 5 books in like a week, so I could probably pick up, you know, about 10 for the month maybe. And yeah, I'm really excited about the fact that I don't need to buy many books now. I mean, I literally went to Waterstones today to pick up a book and I only picked up one, because now I have a list of like all the books on my TBR. The ones that I know are in the library, on Audible or on Kindle, are in different lists, and the actual list of books that I want to read on my TBR that aren't in any of those things is really small. So I was going to Waterstones like, oh, I really could get that. Oh wait, no, actually I can just get it in the library. Like, that is available in the library. So yeah, I'm really excited I've done it. It's fun. I'm excited to go out. What I will say with the library, the only thing is that the times are a bit bad. Like, they're shut on Sundays, so I can't go today. It would be great to go today and just run that errand and get that done. And in the evenings they're not open very late, so after work there's only like a couple days a week that I can actually go there. So I think it will be that I have to return the books in like one go, because I don't think I can I don't have the time to go and do it with each book that I finish. But yeah, what a lovely video, a fun time, a fun week. Please let me know what you thought. This was a proper reading vlog. Sometimes I do my vlogs a bit more, I don't know, full of other things. I think my next vlog will be. But yeah, it's really hot right now. It's really sunny. I can't wait to pause this video and close the blind and just be cool. But yeah, it's been really fun. Let me know if any of these books you have read or you want to read, and if you are signed up to your local library, and I will see you very, very soon. Oh, I should also say, like, if you are someone who can't get to the library easily, maybe because of health reasons or accessibility reasons, or just because it's a bit far, what I will say is do sign up to your local library anyway, because it's free, and you can often, well at least with mine and some others that I've seen, you can get online content. Like, you can get online ebooks and audiobooks for free from the library. So if you don't actually want to go there and physically get it, you can do that. I think some of them also offer delivery services, but yeah, so don't let that stop you. Anyway, yes, I'll see you very soon. Bye.